Hello again, this is Andrew Mount for GG. It's Sunday morning, the 17th of November. I'm here with Pudding the Cat, and we've just been looking at the Greatwood Hurdle, the 3 o'clock at Cheltenham today. Now there's some interesting age stats associated with this race, and had we backed 5-year-olds blind in this contest, we would have been quids in to the tune of £31.33 to a £1 level stake over the years. Now, in the same period, those aged 6 or older are just 3 from 118, which is a bit of a worry for horses of that age group or older, and there's plenty of them. Now, of the 15 runners, 8 fall into the 5-year-old bracket, which makes it a little bit more manageable. And of those 8, we can narrow the field further by looking at those that had had a recent run. 5-year-olds with a run in the past 4 weeks were 5 from 26 in the Greatwood. This is going back to 2003, and backing those blind would have returned a profit of £57. That leaves a rather more manageable shortlist of just 4 runners. Now, of those, 2 are trained by Philip Hobbs, Gumball, who I thought may have been a shade flattered by his all-the-way win at Ascot last time because he was allowed to set very steady fractions early on, and his stablemate Zanzan, who goes without his usual hood, which seems an odd move given that he's worn it for his last 3 starts, including a win at Newbury last time where he seems to excel. So I don't think either of that pair are going to be particularly at home on today's very deep ground, so I'm going to pass them over. That leaves Humble Hero, the skeleton runner. He fell on his reappearance at Ludlow recently, and is another one who has avoided soft or heavy ground throughout his recent runs, tending to race on good or good to soft going, so I'd worry about the ground for him. So process of elimination, we've got Di Mazzaro, the Irish raider, who finally broke his hurdles duck at Galway last time out. That was on soft ground just over 3 weeks ago. Now the interesting thing about Di Mazzaro is he tends to race round the inside in his races. Not necessarily an ideal tactic sometimes in Ireland when it can get cut up towards the inner, but I think that's going to help him today. Now at the October meeting over hurdles at Cheltenham, we saw that it was a big advantage to race round the outer where the ground was less poached, particularly on the Saturday of that 2-day meeting. But it was not the case necessarily yesterday. They'd moved the rail out to make them race more towards the outer, and it seemed to be pretty fair. And we saw 1 or 2 winners round the inside, some later on round the outer. So I don't think it made a great deal of difference, and they've moved the rail out even further today, so I think those round the inside could actually be at an advantage. So I'm going to side with Di Mazzaro each way. Now, of the other 5-year-olds who've not necessarily had a recent run, I'm quite interested in Torcello for the Sean Lycett yard. Now, he's not raced over hurdles since Leopardstown in March when trained by Another Yard, but since then he's improved markedly on the flat, winning his last 3 starts all on heavy ground or soft ground. Now, he represents last year's winning owner, and I think Torcello around about 16 to 1 could be worth adding to our portfolio, as well as 41 Di Mazzaro. So that's it from me until next week. Until then, enjoy the rest of the weekend and best of luck if you're having a bet. Cheers.